You talk about people more than you'd like to admit. Not constantly, not maliciously, but enough. Enough that you sometimes catch yourself mid-sentence and think, why am I even saying this right now? And then you keep going anyway. Here's what's interesting about that. It's not a character flaw. It's not a bad habit you picked up. It's a symptom. And it points to one specific thing that's off, one thing that once you fix it, most of the gossip just stops. Not because you become more disciplined, because you stop needing it. We'll get to what that thing is. But first, you need to see the full picture of what's actually happening. Think about the last real conversation you had about someone who wasn't in the room. Maybe it was a guy at work who keeps getting rewarded for average output. Maybe it was a friend who made a decision that you genuinely cannot understand. Maybe it was someone who's just quietly irritating and you can't fully explain why. And you talked, you dissected it, you had takes, sharp ones. The kind where the other person nods and says, "Yeah, exactly, I've been thinking the same thing." And for a moment, it feels like clarity. Then you go home, and it's still there, not resolved, just quieter for a minute. That's the part nobody tells you. The conversation didn't process anything, it just delayed it. And what it delayed, that's what this whole thing is actually built on. You'll see exactly what I mean in a minute. Here's what this is actually about. It's not about them. It was never about them. Gossip isn't a social habit. It's a mirror pointing the wrong way. Every time you pull someone else apart, you're getting a hit of something. Superiority, certainty, the brief sensation of standing on solid ground. And that hit exists because something underneath is uncertain. When your own direction feels clear, when your own work feels meaningful, you stop needing the conversation to go there. It just loses its pull. The fix isn't learning to be a better person. The fix is fixing the gap that makes you reach for it. That's the one thing. I'm not saying this from above. I've been in those rooms. I've been the one who kept the story going. And I convinced myself it was just honesty, just clarity, just calling it what it was. It wasn't. It was noise I was generating to avoid something quieter. That's worth sitting with. There are three things that feed the habit. Address them, and the habit dies on its own. 1. You don't have a real outlet for your own frustration. Gossip travels the path of least resistance. When something bothers you, two options exist. Confront it directly or redirect it sideways. Most people redirect because confrontation costs something. Redirecting is free, at least in the short term. But the frustration doesn't disappear. It finds a person to attach itself to. Someone who represents whatever you're avoiding. So you talk about them. And it feels like processing. It isn't. Yeah, I know. You're just being honest. But honest about what? Their life or the frustration you haven't named yet? What actually works? Name the thing you're frustrated about, not the person, the situation, the unspoken contract that's been broken. 5 minutes of actual attention. That one act changes the direction of the whole thing, but it only works if you've dealt with what's underneath it, and that's where most people stop. 2. Your identity is too dependent on comparison. When you know exactly what you're building, other people's moves stop being threatening. They're just moves, interesting or irrelevant. Either way, not yours. But when your own direction is blurry, everyone else becomes a reference point. And a reference point can become a competitor. And a competitor can become a target. You're not gossiping because you're mean. You're gossiping because you're measuring, and you're measuring because your own scorecard isn't clear enough yet. I know. You do have direction. But if the habit is still this strong, something is still fuzzy. And the gossip is telling you exactly where. The question isn't, why do I keep talking about this person? The question is, what am I not deciding about my own life that makes their life so interesting? 20 minutes with that question is worth more than 3 years of trying to be more disciplined in conversation. 3. The rooms you're in reward it. This one is uncomfortable, but if every time you make a sharp comment about someone, people laugh and lean in, you're going to keep making sharp comments. That's not a moral failure. That's just how incentives work. The room trains you, and if the room rewards gossip, you're going to produce gossip. I know. You like these people. Maybe you've known them for years. But the question isn't whether they're good people. The question is what you become around them. You cannot consistently be a different person in a room that keeps rewarding the old one. This means one of two things has to change. Either the room changes, or you spend less time in it. There is no third option where you stay, keep collecting the same rewards, and somehow become a different person. Look at the last 4 or 5 conversations where it went there. Who was present in most of them? That answer matters more than any habit you try to build. Listen, because this is the part most people skip. If you're 32 years old and your most interesting conversations are still about what other people are doing wrong, something has gone sideways. Not because gossip is sinful, because it's a symptom. It means your own life hasn't gotten interesting enough yet to hold your full attention. That's not an attack, that's a diagnostic. The men who stop needing it aren't morally superior. They're just busy building something that matters to them. And when you're fully in something of your own, other people's drama stops registering, because there's no room left for it. If the habit is still strong, the real question isn't, how do I stop talking about people? The real question is, what am I not doing that would make this irrelevant? Answer that, and most of this solves itself. Here's what you're going to do today. Think of the one person who comes up the most in the conversations that go sideways. Just one. Now write down one thing in your own life, your work, your goals, your direction, that you have been avoiding deciding on. Don't connect the two out loud. Just notice if they're connected. That's it. Start there.